Hey, I switched up my background. I'm going to do another kind of low effort video, but this is still going to be informative. This is going to be about the correlation between brutal death metal genres, specifically brutal death, tech death, and slam. These genres all have very specific elements that make it very good to blend them with one another. So you'll see a lot of combinations between these bands rather than seeing bands in the extremes of them. One of the first examples of these you'll see a lot of is a mix between brutal death metal and technical death metal. See, you see a lot of that with like Suffocation, Cryptopsy, Dying Fetus. You know, they're technically brutal death metal bands, but they also forged a path for technical death metal. Another mix you'll see a lot of is between brutal death and slam. That was what a lot of the original slam bands were doing before they fully went into that slam sound. So you had bands like Skinless, Mortician, Devourment. I would say this is one of the most common genre blends you'll see, specifically out of the brutal tree. The final one, which is actually very uncommon, is a mix between technical death metal and slam. You really don't see a lot of these. There's a new band coming up, Wormhole. They're kind of filling in that void. Organectomy is a band that's doing that kind of sound. It's still just a very strange mix to get right, because slam is the epitome of groove and tech death is the epitome of precision. So you somehow have to blend those two without missing the point. I think I'm going to use the rest of this video to talk about other mixes of genres that you'll see. So like technical death metal, there's a huge emphasis between technical death metal and progressive death metal. Tech and prog go together so well. Tech and prog is probably more common than tech and brutal in my opinion. Next one you'll see a lot of is between brutal death metal and deathcore. And that's what I would call brutal deathcore. That's what everyone would call it, actually. Yeah, I didn't invent that name. But yeah, bands like Acrania, Crown Magnetar. I would say Psychoframe fits into that category. I would consider that as brutal deathcore, and there are a lot of bands like that. And of course, I can't leave slam out. I think slam has a really good time mixing with grindcore, surprisingly. And yeah, I've seen a lot of slam and grind bands coming up. Anyways, this is a shorter video about a sort of strange and unknown topic, but thanks for watching.